The checkpoint at Nexus Station Alpha had processed thousands of species over its three-decade operation. Security Chief Vactun had seen traders, diplomats, refugees, and warriors from every corner of the galactic arm. But he had never seen anything like the human woman who now stood before his scanner array, flanked by 6 creatures that made his secondary heart skip a beat. Iris stood perfectly still, her worn leather jacket and faded cargo pants marking her as a freelance salvager. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical bun, and her brown eyes held the kind of calm that only came from staring down death more than once. But it wasn't her that made Vactun's claws twitch toward his plasma sidearm. That IT was them .6 shadow-like beings, each standing over 2 meters tall, moved in perfect synchronization around her. Their forms seemed to absorb light itself, with only the faint outline of muscular frames and the occasional glint of what might have been eyes betraying their presence. They didn't walk so much as flow, their movements liquid and predatory. "Ma'am," Vactun said, his translator struggling with the tremor in his voice. "You need to explain what those things are." Now, Ira glanced at the creatures with the casual familiarity one might show old friends. "They're Void Stalkers. From Kepler, 442b's dark side." The other security officers took an involuntary step back. Every spacer knew the stories about Kepler, 442b, the tidally locked world where humanity had established its most isolated colony. The day side was scorched wasteland. The night side was home to nightmares that had evolved in eternal darkness. Void Stalkers don't just follow people, Vactun managed. They hunt. They kill. We have 17 documented cases of ships going dark near that sector. Crews found torn apart. He gestured at his weapon console. "I have authorization to activate station defense protocols." The largest of the creatures, positioned directly behind Ira's right shoulder, shifted. Its head tilted, and for a moment, Vactun could have sworn he saw intelligence in those silver-flecked eyes, ancient and patient. "They're not following me," Ira said simply. "They're protecting me." Vactun's mandibles clicked in disbelief. "Protecting? These are apex predators from a death world's darkest region. They don't protect. They certainly don't protect aliens." Ira smiled, and there was something in that expression that made her seem far more dangerous than the creatures surrounding her. "Chief Vactun, how much do you actually know about humans and death world species?" "I know enough to be concerned about 6 killing machines in my station." She took a step forward, and the Void Stalkers moved with her, maintaining their precise formation. 4 years ago, I crashed on Kepler, 442b's Terminator Zone. Ship was scrap. Supplies for maybe a week. The Twilight Belt is where the stalkers hunt, where the heat and cold meet. She paused, her eyes distant with memory. "I was dying of sepsis from a wound I got in the crash. Delirious. Should have been easy prey." The creature behind her, the largest one, made a sound like wind through a canyon, deep and resonant. "That's Nox," Ira said, reaching up without looking to touch what might have been the creature's arm. It didn't flinch. "He found me first. And instead of killing me, he brought me to their den. Kept me warm. Brought me food, water from the ice caves." Vactun's analytical mind struggled with this. That's not possible. Void Stalkers are obligate carnivores. Territorial. Aggressive. They are, Ira agreed. To threats. But here's what your 17 documented cases didn't tell you, Chief. Those ships weren't just passing through. They were poaching. Taking stalker young for black market collectors. Destroying dens for scientific samples. Her voice hardened. "The stalkers don't attack without reason. Humans learned that lesson on Earth with every predator we tried to exterminate." She gestured to Nox and the others. "I spent 3 months with them before rescue came. Learned their language, their pack structure, their honor code." "Yes, honor. They have rules, Chief. Laws older than your species' first satellite." Another security officer, a Centaurian female named LYSS, spoke up. "But why protect you? What did you offer them?" Ira's laugh was soft but genuine. "Respect. Understanding. I didn't try to dominate them or tame them. I just listened. Learned. When poachers attacked their den while I was there, I fought alongside them. Killed 2 poachers with their own weapons." She met Vactun's eyes. "Humans don't just survive death worlds, Chief. We integrate. We adapt. We make allies in the dark." Nox moved fully into the light, and Vactun finally saw him clearly. Beneath the shadow-like exterior was a being of terrible beauty, all dense muscle and intelligent grace. Ancient scars marked his hide, telling stories of battles survived. And around his neck hung a simple metal tag, human-made, with coordinates etched into it. "That's the location of the den," Iro explained. "I wear a matching one. We're packed now. When I left Kepler 442b, they asked to come with me. Not as pets, not as servants, as equals, as family." Vaktun's training warred with what his eyes told him. The Void Stalkers stood perfectly disciplined, dangerous but controlled, and the human woman treated them with a casual trust that spoke of deep bonds forged in survival's crucible. "This is irregular," he finally said. "Most things about humans are," Ira replied. "But check your own regulations, Chief. I've got documentation." Kepler 442b colony administrators recognize Void Stalkers as sentient beings with protection rights. The Interspecies Convention allows for registered companion guard relationships. All 6 are chipped, vaccinated, and bonded under human law. She pulled out a datapad, sliding it across to him. The documentation was impeccable, legal. Binding to Vaktun reviewed it, then looked up at the woman and her impossible companions. "The galaxy is going to have trouble accepting this." Ira's smile returned, sharp and knowing. The galaxy had trouble accepting humans too. They called Earth a death world, called us crazy for thriving there. But we didn't just survive our planet, Chief. We loved it. Every predator, every storm, every challenge. She gestured to the stalkers. "This is just us doing what we've always done. Finding family in the most unlikely places." Knox made that canyon wind sound again, and the other 5 stalkers echoed it, a chorus that made the station's deck plates vibrate. It wasn't threatening. It was almost singing. Vaktun stamped the documentation and handed back the datapad. "Welcome to Nexus Station Alpha, all 7 of you." As Ira and her pack moved through the checkpoint, other travelers pressed themselves against the walls, staring in wonder and fear. But the human walked with her head high, her shadowborn family moving in perfect harmony around her. And Vaktun understood, perhaps for the first time, why the rest of the galaxy both feared and admired humanity. They didn't conquer death worlds. They didn't tame them. They made them home. And they brought their friends along for the journey.